Hi, this is DEB RNY. I'm coming to you at week 12 after gastric bypass surgery at Long Island laparoscopic surgery at John T. Mather Hospital in Port Jefferson, New York. My surgeon was Dr. Agarwala. He's on Dr. Arif Ahmad's team. Excellent surgeons. Um, Last week, my video was about I went on vacation and my video was about food, preparing the food I ate, new foods. This week, I want to talk about some NSVs I had on the trip, and also I saw 3 doctors in the past couple weeks. So I want to talk about those visits. Let's start with the stats. Again, this is week 12. I went the first time on January 29th, 2016 to the seminar about the surgery. I had surgery. I weighed 330 pounds. I had surgery on July 7th. I weighed 285. Last week I was 249.4, and this week 247.2. That means I lost 2.2 pounds this week, 37.8 pounds since surgery, and 82.8 pounds since my highest weight. I want to talk about my doctor's visits first. First, I saw my rheumatologist. He, again, is not happy that I'm not taking my medication. He's sending me for blood work. I haven't taken it since before the surgery. He's sending me for blood work because my liver functions are elevated, which he said is something to do with I was taking methotrexate, and that it has gone down since before the surgery, but I don't know, he just wants to make sure it's going down and there's not some other reason it's going up, I guess. So I have to go do that. I also asked him about some painful lumps. I have one above each elbow and one above each knee. It just seems kind of weird that they're near the joints. So I thought it might have something to do with that. The one on the left arm has a bruise there, which I think might just be from me rubbing it because it's sore. He said that he thought they might be swollen lymph nodes, and I should discuss that with the surgeon. So I'll see him in 2 or 3 months, and I'm supposed to call him if I feel like I get to the point where I need to start my medication again. I saw the cardiologist. Everything is fine. That's the first time I've seen him after surgery. Everything's fine. I was told to see him maybe a year and a half ago. I was scheduled for a DNC, and they saw some blip on my EKG, and they sent me to him, and I've been going to him ever since, quite repeatedly, always with the same results. So he thinks I should see him in a year, and then I can stop visiting him if everything's fine. I also saw my surgeon. I saw my surgeon on Friday, and they called me, the surgeon's office called me, actually it might have been the Friday before this. Someone from the surgeon's office called me that morning and said that I needed to make an appointment with their office because of elevated liver functions. And I said, well, that's great. So I have an appointment today. She said, fine, talk to him when you go. So I did speak to him about it. He didn't mention it at all through our whole talk until at the end. I asked him about it. He did not seem concerned. It wasn't that elevated, according to him. The really good news, I don't know if you remember from my previous videos, but one of the reasons that I went to the seminar was because on New Year's Eve, 2015, I went to see my doctor, and my A1C was 11, and that was on medication. And that just scared the holy hell out of me. So that's when I went to see about having bariatric surgery. I have not had medication for diabetes since the day before my surgery, and my A1C was 5.6. 5.6. It's like a miracle. I don't know if there's some reason that diabetic patients would not have this medication if they're not overweight. I don't know what it would do to a person's body, but to drop I know I'm eating better, and I also know I'm exercising, but come on, that's crazy. Crazy good. I also told the surgeon, my rheumatologist had mentioned that my B12 was high and I should stop taking it. And I told him that I was taking extra B12 and that was from the say of my surgeon and because of my surgery, and I would not stop taking it till the surgeon told me to. The surgeon said, of course, no, keep taking it. You need the B12. Then I asked him about protein. The nutritionist said they want us to get between 60 and 80 grams of protein, and I've been getting more like 90 to 110, some days 120. My calories are pretty much about where she says they should be, about 1,000 calories. Every once in a while I go over. Sometimes it's 900, but basically I try to keep it right in the 1,000 calorie range. So I asked him because I know that you can get too much protein. I'm not really sure how much is too much, and I don't know how much we absorb, and it's quite technical, I'm sure. So I asked him about that, and he said that actually, whatever the blood test is that measures the protein in your blood, it's supposed to be between 20 and 40, and he said I barely hit the 20 mark, and that I should keep up with my protein or increase it some. I called the nutritionist, and she said I should just really stay where I am, the 90 to 110, and that a good suggestion from her was for me to try varying my foods, which I'm not very good at. I have the same thing. I have a shake for breakfast. I have yogurt for a snack. I have mozzarella sticks for an afternoon snack. I have a salad with Applegate deli chicken and cheese and celery and whatever for dinner, and only my lunch varies, and that's by whatever I decide to have that day or whatever's in the cupboard or whatever I feel like packing up to take with me. So she also suggested that I have more eggs. I had a lot of eggs when I was on vacation, but normally I don't. It's just it's just a pain. I don't like to cook. I know eggs aren't much cooking, but how hard is it to hard boil eggs? You'd be surprised. So I will try to have at least one egg a day. I will try to do that. The vegetables, I have the same vegetables all the time. The only cooked vegetables I like are green beans, so I don't have those often. But again, that's not much Of course, I like corn and potatoes, but that's off the table. Okay, so that's it for the doctor's visits. I also had some NSVs while I was on vacation. One thing is, I met two friends came to see me, long-time friends. We've been friends 17 or 18 years. We met online, and we meet. We used to meet every year. Now it's been a few years since we've seen them. Maybe, I don't know, I'm bad with time. 3-4 years since I've seen them. They have seen pictures, and they knew I had the surgery. But seeing somebody in person's different. So one of them came to the quilt show and spent a few hours walking around with me. That was nice, and she was surprised. And the other one, the last time I saw her, she's from Rochester, and the last time I saw her, I took another friend, and we went to see her, and I'd never been to Niagara Falls, and she took us to see Niagara Falls, and it was horrible. Not Niagara Falls, but getting there. You parked far away. There's a lot of walking. It's hilly. I was miserable. I was out of breath. I needed to stop every time there was a bench. I had to stop. I was really, really in bad shape. And I didn't even realize how bad a shape I was in until she mentioned she came to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to meet with me and the two friends that I went on vacation with, who she'd never met. And she came to meet us. She just came for lunch, which was nice. She was a Buffalo. She's coming from the Rochester area down to, she was going to Norfolk to meet one of her kids, and she just planned her trip to veer out of the way a little bit, which I really appreciated. And when she met us, we decided to go somewhere for lunch, and we had to walk like 3 blocks to lunch. And she told me once we sat down, how she could really see the physical difference, that she'd been worried about me, and that it was really remarkable how fast I walked. I wasn't out of breath. So that was nice to hear. Also, I just met yesterday. I met with some friends that I haven't seen, I don't know, maybe in a year. A bunch of quilting friends. We met somewhere to quilt, and I haven't seen them. And I don't really post pictures on Facebook. I'm not really a picture person. And that's probably had something to do with being fat. And maybe once I get all this weight off and get rid of this, maybe I'll start posting more pictures. But um, one of them said they knew I was coming, and some of them knew I had surgery, and some of them didn't. And one of them said that when she came in, she had to do a double take. She thought it was me, but then she had to look again to make sure it was me. And they all remarked about how great I looked. There was also another one of our friends also had bypass surgery in February. She's lost 105 pounds in surgery, but they've seen her. They get together often. This was just the first time that I had been there, so that was nice. While I was at the quilt show, I did a lot of walking. It's a big show at the Philadelphia Expo Center, I think. It's a big show, and there's, I don't know, 600 quilts. It's a lot of quilts to see. I took pictures, walk, walk, walk. We had also gone to see, we'd stopped at quilt shops on the way down on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we went to more quilt shops. The show was on Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday we walked in more quilt shops on the way home. On Thursday and Friday, Thursday when we went to the show, when we got back to the hotel that night, I looked at my Fitbit and I said, oh man, I normally get, I'd say on an average, 5,000 steps a day. I have a very sedentary job. I work from 8 to 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever time I get out of there. When I come home, I'm tired. It's a mental job. But that doesn't mean I'm not tired when I get home. And I'm overweight and basically a lazy person. So it's not like I, go out and do things when I get home. So normally if I get 6,000 steps, that's a really good day. Well, I got home to the hotel that night and I told the women I was with, I said, I only need 750 steps to hit 10,000. So I went out and walked up and down the hall, took my iPod, just said hello to whoever I passed, up and down, till I hit the 750 steps, came back in. My little Fitbit was like shooting off stars and fireworks, and I said, ooh, I hit 10,000. So that was great. I was tired. I slept well that night. The next day I came home. I forget how many steps I was short, maybe 2,000. I was a lot short that night. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go do it again. And they said, oh, don't do it. You complained about your feet all day today. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. So I did. I did it 2 days in a row. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I don't know how you people hit 10,000 steps in a day. That is a lot of walking. I know my arthritis probably makes it really bad for me, but heavens to Murgatroyd, 10,000 steps. And Brit Brat gets like 15, 16, 20,000. Ridiculous, people. Good for you. I've been going to Planet Fitness twice a week ever since, I don't know, 6 weeks after the surgery. Whenever they told me I could go, I've been going twice a week. And they finally got a personal trainer. So I saw her last Tuesday. And she was a physical therapist before, which makes me feel good because I know I have arthritis. I have bursitis in both my shoulders, and I also was wearing a boot at the time of my surgery. I was wearing a boot on my right foot because of some problem with the tendon and my arch, whatever. I haven't worn the boot since. It seems to be doing pretty good, but it was good to know that she could help with those things and that she would make sure I did exercises that wouldn't damage them. Our first session was an assessment. That's what she said, an assessment. And we did not use any machines, any weights. She said we're going to start by, the first thing she said was, is there anything that you would like to change? Tell me something you would like to change. And I said, yes, I'd like a new job, but not a Planet Fitness, and I know that's not really what you meant. And then I told her what I'd really like to do is to be able to want to come to the gym instead of feeling like I have to go to the gym. So she said, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some exercises on the mat. She believes that you should learn to do exercises that use your body weight instead of using the machines. And that way, if the gym is closed, bad weather, you can't get there, you're on vacation, whatever, you would still be able to do your exercises. This was an assessment. She said, we're going to get down on this mat. And I said, there's going to be a problem. I have really bad knees. And if I get down on that mat, I am not going to be able to get up. And she said, no, it's going to be fine. And then I also told her I have a problem with vertigo. Maybe every 3 or 4 years, I end up in the hospital, in the emergency room, getting fluids, and I'm out of work for a week or 10 days because the vertigo is so bad. So I warned her that I was going to have that. I said, if it gets bad, I'll throw up. She goes, I'm one of those people that if you throw up, I'm going to throw up right back on you. So I didn't throw up. She was very good about, when I laid on my back to make sure that, she'd give me 15 or 30 seconds for my brain to reorient so I wasn't dizzy. And we did the exercises, which I wasn't very good at. I'm well aware of that. I told her that whatever was below poor on her little sheet, that's where I was going to be. When it came time to get up off the mat, I told her it was going to be a problem, and she said, I'll help you. She could not help me up. And luckily, we were upstairs, and there's an wrought iron railing there, and I pulled myself up with my arms. So we did some other exercises. We did lunges while you're walking up and down, and then some kind of a squats where you squat and then stand up and turn 180 degrees and squat again and turn 180 degrees. So you're going back and forth, all the way down to the end. Those I was fine, except I have a really bad balance. So she was right next to me the whole time. It's just, even as a kid, I was never able to ride a bike, roller skate, rollerblade. I just have really, really bad balance. So I did all those. That was fun. And then on the way, then we did the rowing machine, which I had never been on. I do remember my older daughter saying one time, though, that she thought I wouldn't be able to get on it because it's so low to the ground. So I don't know if I would have been able to get on it by myself, but with the trainer there, she helped me, situate the seat and put the straps around my shoes and whatever. So I was okay with the rowing machine. Then when I got done with that and I got off, she said, okay, now we're going to jog down to the other end. I said, the last time both my feet left the ground at the same time, I was 12 years old and in a swing. But I did it. I really surprised myself, actually. It was a nice, slow jog. It wasn't running by any stretch of the imagination. But I did have both feet off the ground at the same time, so that was good. So then we sat down, and she said, if you could change anything that we did today, what would you change? And I said, no more on the mat. No. I mean, if we get to the point where my knees don't hurt or where my weight's not so much that I can lift myself up, that's one thing, but I can't do that. So she said to go home and ice, or because my knees were hurting, she said to go home and ice or heat, whichever one made me feel better. I did go home and put heat on my shoulders right here from the rowing machine. I told her that if I had her cell phone number the next day, I was going to call her up and have her come help me get out of bed. But to tell you the truth, it really wasn't bad. I expected my stomach muscles to hurt more. Not that we did that many, but we did some crunches and, throwing your legs up in the air while you're on your back and stretching out like Superman on your stomach. And there were some stomach exercises, which I expected to have my stomach hurt worse, but they didn't. Really, it was my knees and my shoulders, and those were the joints. Not really any muscles there, just the joints. So I have another appointment again. There you go. I did make another appointment. I see her on Wednesday. I don't know what she's got planned for me then, but I'm sure she'll have worked up something according to how my assessment went. So I am looking forward to that. Okay. That's it for my NSVs and the doctors and my stats. But I do want to say two things. One is my tailbone really hurt on that trip riding in the car going to Pennsylvania, I don't know what's 5 or 6 hours, and stopping and whatever. I had problems with my tailbone hurting, which I have expected. I know that's a common ailment. What I have not had happen is I'm not cold. And I know lots of people say that when at my support group meeting a few times ago when I went, they were talking about being cold. All the women were complaining about how they're freezing. And I said, oh, that hasn't happened yet. And they said, oh, wait till 1 month. It starts at 1 month. Well, now it's been almost 3 months, and I am not cold, um, which I'm really thankful for. And I hope it doesn't hit, because in my job, sometimes it's 45 degrees in my office all day. So I hope that really doesn't happen to me. But I just thought I'd let that for anybody who thinks that they're going to get cold, and because everybody else does, maybe you won't. Now, what I'm hoping is that I won't have hair loss just because everybody else is, but I don't think I've just really hit that time yet. I want to say congratulations to everybody that's had surgery. My computer is in the shop, and it's really, really hard for me to watch YouTube videos. I'm trying to watch them on my phone, or I'm on my Mac right now, but it's in a different room, and then I have other things, and I can't do things at the same time like I can with my laptop. So I have tried to watch as many videos as I can, but I'm not taking the time usually to comment or like them. I apologize for that. I just hope I can keep up till I get my laptop back. It should be a couple weeks. Again, congratulations to everybody that had surgery. Good luck to everybody else. And thank you for watching. Oh, by the way, I had 100 subscribers. Isn't that wonderful? Which I consider a real feat, since I don't do Instagram, which I know a lot of people get a lot of followers from Instagram. I don't do Instagram. I don't really do Facebook for the weight loss surgery. I'm in 2 groups, and there's not much action going on there. So, I'm not on OH. I don't do any of that. So I consider 100 subscribers to be pretty good. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned something from my video, and I will see you next week. Thank you.